Hello students, welcome back. In last video we have studied about introduction of rational number and its various properties. So today in this video we will cover first exercise of your NCERT textbook. So let's begin this exercise. So your first question is, using appropriate properties you have to find out the value of this given thing. Now in this given equation you can see different terms are present. So first of all, first step we will identify the total terms. So this entire is your first term. After plus, this will be your second term, and after minus sign, this will be your third term. Plus and minus sign will separate the different terms. Now our objective will be so find out any common term is there or apply any property. So you can see here, if you will see, in first term 3 by 5 is there, and in third term also 3 by 5 is there. So we can rearrange these two terms together and we can take 3 by 5 common. So first term as it is, this first term as it is, third term I am writing here along with the sign. This minus sign will also be there, and left second term with plus sign. This second term here. So whenever you are rearranging the term, this property is called your commutative property. And in the next step, you can see from these first two terms, 3 by 5 we can take common. So we can take 3 by 5 common. So what's left inside? Minus 2 by 3, and only 3 by 5 we have taken common, minus 1 by 6 will left inside, plus 5 by 2 as it is. So you can see this thing. This is what? This is your distributive property. A multiplied by B minus C. So A into B minus A into C. So this is your distributive. And always write the property name, whichever property you are using. Now, next step, we have to solve this bracket. Now, when we will solve this bracket, by taking the LCM, you will solve and you will get this value here, minus 5 by 6. Plus 5 by 2 as it is. This plus 5 by 2 will be as it is. Now, in the next step, when you will multiply or solve, so 3 ones are 3, 3 twos are 6. 5 will be cancelled out. So what you will get? Minus 1 by 2. Instead of this entire thing, you will get minus 1 by 2. So here minus 1 by 2 plus 5 by 2. So again, next step, we have to add them, and since the denominator is same, 2 will be there, and after solving you will get 4 by 2, and here you will get here 4 by 2 means 2. So your final answer is 2. Similarly, in the next question you have to do, first we will find out total number of the terms. This entire is your first term, along with the sign this will be your second term, and after plus sign this will be your third term. Now we will see, is there any common term? So we can find out here. In first term 2 by 5 is present, and in last term also 2 by 5 is present. So we will rearrange them and we will take 2 by 5 common. So when you will rearrange this thing, first term as it is, third term will be written here first, and this second term we'll write it at the last. So whenever you are rearranging, this name of the property, commutative property. Now next step, we'll take 2 by 5 common. We have taken 2 by 5 common, and since you have taken 2 by 5 common, what's left here in the first term? Minus 3 by 7, plus sign as it is, and already you have taken 2 by 5 common. So in that second term, what's left? 1 by 14 minus this thing as it is. Now we will solve the bracket first. 7 and 14, what will be the LCM? 14, 7, 2s are 14, 2 will multiply by 3, so minus 3 into 2, and 14 divided by 14, 1, so 1 into 1, 1 itself. So in the next step, minus 3 into 2, minus 6 plus 1, so minus 6 plus 1, minus 5. So minus 5 by 14, this will multiply by 2 by 5, minus this term as it is. So again, you can see we have reduced this equation to 2 terms now. Previously 3 terms are there, now it is getting reducible step by step. So next step, you will reduce this thing. 5 5 will be cancelled out. You can cancel this thing. 5 and 5 can be cancelled out. 2 ones are 2, 7s are 14. So what you will get here? Minus 1 by 7. Then minus 6 by minus 1 by 6 into 3 by 2. So we will solve this part also. So when you will solve this thing, 3 ones are 3, 3 twos are 6. So here all you will get 1 by 2 into 1 by 2. So later this will be converted into 1 by 4 and minus 1 by 7. Later again you have to take the LCM. So LCM will be 7 4s are 28 and 7 divided by 28. When you will divide 28 by 7, 7 4s are 28. So 4 into 1 minus 4. You will get here minus 4. 4 7s are 28. Then 7 1s are 7. So here minus 7. So when you will add this thing, minus minus plus, and sign will always be of bigger number. So bigger number having minus sign, or you can both the terms having the same sign, you can put any minus sign. So minus 11 by 28 will be your final answer. So if you want, you can note down this first question also. Now our next question is, find the additive inverse of each of the following. Now you remember, student, we have learned one property, additive inverse. If a number is a, its additive inverse is what? Minus a. And if a number is minus a, its additive inverse will be what? Plus a. And how this plus is coming? Minus sign by default, and again minus a. So final answer what you are getting? Minus minus will become plus. So final answer you are getting a. So additive inverse of minus a is what? A. And additive inverse of a is what? Minus a. So only the sign are changing. Now you can see this thing. You have to find the additive inverse of each of the following each of the following terms. Now first question is your 2 by 8. You have to find the additive inverse of 2 by 8. So what will be the additive inverse? Sign will get changed. Additive inverse of 2 by 8 is what? Minus 2 by 8. Now if you want to check, you can check this property also, number plus additive inverse. That this also we have seen in the property in the last video. If a term is a and its additive inverse is what? Minus a. And if you will add these two things, what you will get? 0. So you have to check this also. Number 2 by 8 plus additive inverse, its additive inverse is what? Minus 2 by 8. So plus minus minus, both the things will get cancel, and final answer what you will get? 0. So your this property is also satisfied. Similarly, same thing you have to do in each and every part. Second part, minus 5 by 9. What will be the additive inverse of minus 5 by 9? Minus, then again minus 5 by 9. So minus minus will become plus. So your final answer will be 5 by 9. So if you want to check this identity, number is minus 5 by 9 plus this part, its additive inverse. So both them will be cancelled out and you will get 0. Now similarly, third part is there. Now in the third part, minus 6 upon minus 5. So here it's itself is 20. If you want, you can resolve this thing. It will be minus minus will be cancelled out. Your part will be question 6 by 5 will be remaining. So its additive inverse of 6 by 5 will be what? Minus 6 by 5. And if you want to continue the same thing, minus a, if term is a, its additive inverse is what? Minus a. So if this entire term is a, minus a means what? Minus this entire term. So later also this minus sign is will be cancel out. You will get 6 by 5, and before the bracket minus sign is there, so minus 6 by 5. And if you want to check this thing, here you can check this thing. Here this part will be cancelled out. So what you will get? 6 by 5 and its additive inverse plus minus minus sign, then you will get 0. Similarly, the fourth part is there. Again, you have to find out the additive inverse of 2 upon minus 9. So 2 upon minus 9 minus 2 upon minus 9. So minus minus will become plus. So your additive inverse will be 2 by 9. And if you want to check, you can check this thing. Now, fifth part is there. In fifth part, again, you have to find out the additive inverse of 19 upon minus 6. So additive inverse will be what? This number, your sign will be changed. So minus, enter this thing. Then later minus minus will become plus. So your additive inverse will be what? Of 19 upon minus 6. Will be what? 19 upon 6. And if you want to check this thing, you can check also. Number plus its additive inverse, you will get finally 0. And remember one thing, student, if it is written like this, 19 upon minus 6 or minus 19 upon 6, or if it is written minus, then 19 upon 6. All these things are same. Now let's come to question number 3. In question number 3, you have to verify this thing. You have to verify minus of minus x will equal to what? X. Now for, you have to check this thing. First part, x value is given 11 by 15, and second part, x value is given minus 13 by 17. So means you have to verify this thing. This identity minus, we already know minus minus will become plus, and with this will be equal to what? X only. Now you have to verify. Take LHS and prove it equal to RHS. Now we have considering LHS. Since LHS is given what? Minus of minus x. This you have to show this thing equal to what? X. Now this minus sign will be as it is. You can see here, student, this minus sign is as it is. Next minus sign, which is after the bracket, this is also as it is. Now here you have to put the value of x. Now what is the value of x? 11 by 15. So I have put it the value 11 by 15. Now later this minus minus will become what? Plus. So final answer will be what? 11 upon 15. And this 11 upon 15 was what? X only. So it will equal to x. So LHS is equal to RHS. Similarly, in the second part, again we will consider LHS minus of minus x. So this first minus as it is, after the bracket this minus, this will also as it is. So we have taken first minus, this is your first minus, after the bracket second minus. Now what is the value of x now? Minus 13 upon 17. So instead of x, here we have put it this value minus 13 upon 17. So first bracket part will be solved. So minus minus will be plus. So inside the bracket, what's left now? 13 upon 17. And outside the bracket, minus sign. So final answer is your minus 13 upon 17. And what is this minus 13 upon 17? This was the value of x. So instead of this thing, we can replace x, which is equal to what? RHS. Now we will solve fourth question. Now in fourth question, you have to find the multiplicative inverse of the following. And already we have studied, if a number is a, its multiplicative inverse will be what? 1 upon a. It means its reciprocal. And if the number is minus a, its reciprocal will be what? 1 upon minus a. Now here you have to find out the multiplicative inverse of minus 13. Now, multiplicative inverse of minus 13 will be what? 1 upon minus 13. So, it can be written as minus 1 upon 13 also. Now, if you want to check, so we already know this thing. If a number is a, and if you will multiply by its multiplicative inverse. So, if a number is a, its multiplicative inverse will be what? 1 upon a. So, when you will solve this thing, a will be cancelled out and final answer will be remaining what? 1. So, if a number is multiplied by its multiplicative inverse, what you will get? You will get always 1. Now, what was your number? Minus 13. What is its multiplicative inverse? Minus 1 upon 13. And when you will multiply these two things, 13, 13 will get cancel out. Minus 1 into minus 1 plus. And this is equal to what? RHS means your value which you have taken as a multiplicative inverse, it is correct. Now, second part, multiplicative inverse of minus 13 by 19. So it's reciprocal. So what will be the reciprocal? The multiplicative inverse of this thing will be what? 19 upon minus 13. And you can check this thing. When this number is multiplied by its multiplicative inverse, you will get what? 1. Means you have done this question correctly. Similarly, same thing you have to do in next parts also. 1 by 5, if the number, its multiplicative inverse will be its reciprocal 5. And you can check this thing also. When you will multiply this thing, number and its multiplicative inverse, you will get what? 1. Now, fourth part, you have to find the multiplicative inverse of this entire thing. Now, when you will, first of all, we will resolve here itself in the question. So, 5 3s are 15, minus minus plus. So, 15 upon 8 7s are 56. So, you have to find the multiplicative inverse of this thing now. Means 15 by 56. Now, When you will find out the multiplicative inverse, it will means what? Reverse or reciprocal. So when you will find the multiplicative inverse, the value will be coming what? 56 upon 50. And if you want, you can check this thing also. When a number is multiplied by its multiplicative inverse, so you will get what? Final answer 1. Now in fifth part of the question, -1 into -2/5. So here itself you resolve this thing. 1 multiplied by 2, what you will get? 2 upon 5. Minus minus plus. So you have to find out the multiplicative inverse of 2 upon 5. What will be the multiplicative inverse? Its reciprocal means 5 by 2. And if you want, you can check this thing also. When a number is multiplied by its multiplicative inverse means 5 by 2. All thing will be cancelled out and final answer you will get what? 1. Now, sixth part, you have to find out the multiplicative inverse of -1. So, -1, again, you will do the reciprocal 1 upon -1. And 1 upon 1 is what? 1 only with the negative sign. So, multiplicative inverse of -1 is what? -1 itself. So, let's check this thing by this identity. Number is what? -1. So, number is what? -1. It is multiplied by what? Its multiplicative inverse, and the multiplicative inverse was also what? -1. So, when you will multiply these two things, 1 into 1, 1 minus minus plus. So, again, you will get the final answer here 1. Now, let's move to fifth question. Now, you have to name the property under the multiplication which is used in the following. So, in the first part, you have to name the property, which property you have used. So, if a number is multiplied by 1 or 1 is multiplied to a number, you will get the same number. So, which is this property? This is the this is the multiplicative identity of rational number. So, 1 is the multiplicative identity of rational number. So, this will be the name of the property. You can see this thing. This we have already studied. If a is multiplied by 1 or 1 is multiplied by a, you will get the same number. So, in the second part of the question, a number is there. If a number is a, it is multiplied by another rational number b, which will equal to what? B into a. So, this is which property? This is your commutative property. A multiplied by b will equal to what? B multiplied by a. And third question, a number is there which is multiplied by its reciprocal. Then always you will get what? 1. Just now in the last question we have done this thing. Multiplicative inverse property. If a number is there minus a. If it is multiplied by its reciprocal 1 upon minus a. What you will get? 1. Now sixth question. You have to multiply 6 by 13. Means 6 by 13 you have to multiply by the reciprocal of minus 7 by 16. So first of all, we'll find out the reciprocal of minus 7 by 16. So reciprocal of minus 7 by 16, its reciprocal will be what? 16 upon minus 7. So this is the reciprocal. Now in this reciprocal, you have to multiply by what? You have to multiply by 6 by 13. So 6 by 13 is multiplied by reciprocal of this, and the reciprocal value is what? 16 upon minus 7. So these things will be get multiplied. So 16 into 6, 96, and 13 sevens are 91. With the negative sign, and this negative sign you can put it anywhere. Numerator, denominator, anywhere you can put. So final answer is what? Minus 96 upon 91. Now in seventh question, again you have to tell the what property allow you to compute this thing. Means 1 by 3, this thing is multiplied by this entire thing. So let's suppose this is your a multiplied by another rational number b multiplied by another rational number c. So this thing can also be written as, we can regroup these things, a into b into c. Three terms were there. Now in first thing, we have made a group of second and third numbers. Now here we are making a group of first and second number. So this will be equal, because we have learned this thing, a multiplied by b into c will be equal to a into b, whatever the result, that multiplied by c. And the name of this property is what? Associative property. Eighth question. In this eighth question, we have to see, is 8 by 9. The number 8 by 9 is multiplicative inverse of this entire number, means minus 1 by 8. So you have to see whether 8 by 9 is a multiplicative inverse of this given number. So first we will find out the multiplicative inverse of this number. So let's resolve this number here itself. Minus 1 upon 1 by 8. So this, you can see, this is a mixed number. So 1 into 8, 8, 8 plus 1, 9. So this thing I have done here. We have resolved this thing. So finally, what number you will get? Minus 9 by 8. So you have to find out the multiplicative inverse of minus 9 by 8. And then we will check whether 8 by 9 is a multiplicative inverse of this number or not. So we know this thing. If a number is multiplied by its multiplicative inverse, always what you will get? You will get 1. Now we will check whether the number multiplied by its multiplicative inverse is giving 1 or not. So let's check. Number was what? Minus 1, 1 by 8. We have resolved this thing and its value we can write it here. Minus 9 by 8 and its multiplicative inverse will be what? 8 by 9. So I multiplied the multiplicative inverse of this number, and when you will resolve, 8 8 will be cancelled out and 9 9 will be cancelled out, but what it will be left? It will left minus 1. But what we should get? We should get plus 1, and here we are getting minus 1. So this is wrong. Now we can say, since we are getting minus 1, so we cannot say 8 by 9 is a multiplicative inverse. Therefore 8 by 9 is not a multiplicative inverse of minus 1 1 by 8. Similarly, in the next question also you have to do the same thing. You have to see, is 0.3 is a multiplicative inverse of 3 1 by 8. So 0.3 means what? 3 by 10. So means you have to see, is 3 by 10 is a multiplicative inverse of this given number. So let's resolve this number. 3 3 is a 9. 9 plus 1, 10. 10 by 3. So your number is what now? 10 by 3. Now you have to check this thing. If a number is multiplied by its multiplicative inverse, what you should get? Always 1. But in the previous question, we are not getting 1. We have, what we was getting? Minus 1. That's why it was not a multiplicative inverse. Now let's see in this part. Now we have to verify whether this number and multiplied by this 0.3, we will be getting 1 or not. Now let's the number 3, 1 by 3. Already we have resolved this thing. So its value will substitute here. So its value will be what? 10 by 3. Multiply by its multiplicative inverse. So 10 by 3. Its multiplicative inverse will be what? 3 by 10. So all thing will get cancel out. And final answer what we will get? 1. So 1 only we need to get. So which is equal to your RHS part. So we can say 0.3 is a multiplicative inverse of 1 by 3, because your product you are getting here 1, and previously we are not getting the product 1. We are not getting the product 1. That's why 8 by 9 was not the multiplicative inverse of minus 1 1 by 8. Now let's move to question number 10. Now in question number 10, you have to write the rational number that does not have a reciprocal. So we know every number having its reciprocal. Like if you will write 1, so what will be the reciprocal of 1? 1 upon 1. If you will write 2, what will be the reciprocal of 2? 1 upon 2. So every number having its reciprocal. But if you will see a number 0, since 0 is also a rational number, so if we will write the reciprocal of 0, what it will be? 1 upon 0, and 1 upon 0 is not defined. So the only rational number which does not have its reciprocal is what? 0. So your final answer is 0. Second part, the rational number that are equal to its reciprocal. Now, which are the rational numbers which are equal to, means which is just equal to its reciprocal? So 1, what will be the reciprocal of 1? 1 upon 1. And minus 1, what will be the reciprocal of minus 1? 1 upon minus 1. So this thing again will equal to what? Minus 1. So The reciprocal of 1 is what? 1. And reciprocal of minus 1 is what? Minus 1. So there are the two numbers which is equal to their reciprocal, which is 1 and minus 1. Now, third part, the rational number that is equal to its negative. Now you have to find out any rational number which is just equal to its negative number. So if I will write 1, 1 is not equal to minus 1. So this is not equal to. If I will write here 2, we cannot write 2 is equal to minus 2. This is also unequal. So the only number is what? 0. Because if I will write 0 equal to minus 0, and since we know 0 does not have any sign, so this minus sign is invalid. So negative of 0 is also what? 0. Positive of 0 is what? 0 itself. Because 0 does not have any sign. So the rational number which is equal to its negative is only 0. Now let's come to question number 11. The fill in the blanks are there. Now first part, 0 has dashed reciprocal. So we have to see whether 0 have any reciprocal or not. Now we know what is the reciprocal of 0? Not defined. So is there any reciprocal of 0? No. So your final answer is here no. 0 has no reciprocal. Second part, the number dash and dash are their own reciprocal. Just now in the last question we have seen which are the rational number which is equal to its reciprocal 1 and minus 1. Because reciprocal of 1 is also 1 and reciprocal of minus 1 is also minus 1. So your answer will be 1 and minus 1 are the two numbers which are equal to their reciprocal. Third part, what is the reciprocal of minus 5? Simply, if a number is minus 5, its reciprocal will be what? 1 upon minus 5. So your answer will be minus 1 upon 5. Now in fourth part of the question, reciprocal of 1 by x. Now if a number is 1 by x, you have to find out its reciprocal. So in reciprocal, what you are doing? Inverse 1 upon x. So this x will go up there. So it will become x by 1. Or simply if you want to do the reciprocal 1 upon x, it will be x upon 1. So the reciprocal of 1 by x is what? X upon 1. Fifth part, the product of the two rational number is always a rational number. This already we have seen. If you multiply two rational number, a multiplied by b, both are rational number. So you will always get what? A rational number. So the product of two rational number is always a rational number. If instead of a, if you're taking 0 also, and instead of b, you're taking any rational number, suppose 2 by 3. So again, finally you will get what? 0, and again 0 is also a rational number. And if both you are taking 0 also, 0 into 0 also you will get 0, and again 0 is also a rational number. So the product of two rational number, always you will get what? Rational number. Now sixth part, the reciprocal of a positive rational number is what? Means any positive number. Let here I have taken an example 2 by 3. A number is there 2 by 3. Its reciprocal is what? 3 by 2. So again, which type of number you are getting? You are getting a positive number. So the reciprocal of a positive rational number is always what? It will always be positive. Now whenever you are doing reciprocal, now like suppose a number is there x, its reciprocal is what? 1 upon x. So only the thing is reversing, means you are just doing the reciprocal of that number. The signs are not changing. It is not like that if the number is x, its reciprocal will be minus 1 upon x. That is wrong. Because we know if a number is x, its reciprocal is what? 1 upon x. So in reciprocal, signs are not changing. Remember this thing, students. So here we have finished your first exercise. And in the next video, we will do your exercise 1.2. So till then, students, it's my advice, do all the questions of this exercise 1.1 by your own ones. So it will help, and it will, your practice will be there. And if you're having any doubt, the video is there for you. So but do all the question once by your own. Thank you, students.